At Rise, Roy and Royce's living room with a couch, coffee table, and matching chairs. The walls are covered in beautiful and expensive art. The coffee table is prominent. There are 3 knocks at the door. Royce rushes to the room toward the door, stops, smooths her clothes, and clears her throat. She then opens the door.
Hi, come on, come in. You must be Devon Lee.
Yes, hi. Nice to meet you. You must be Roy's daughter.
That's
Devon
right.
offers Royce her hand and they shake.
That's right. Come on in, take a seat.
Well, thank you. You have a lovely home. It's just what I imagined.
We've done a lot of work on it over the years. In fact, your newspaper did a story on us and our home about 10 years ago. I don't think you were with them at the time.
Devon does not sit. She places her old briefcase on the coffee table, so it's visually dominant.
No, I'm actually a freelancer. I was a nurse for many years and I decided to change careers. This will be an important story, and I'm hoping it'll propel me into a full-time position.
Would you like something to drink?
Oh, no, thank you.
That's an interesting briefcase.
Well, thank you. It's an antique.
Yeah, it looks very old.
Oh, it is.
So, do you know about my gallery?
A little.
That briefcase is the kind of thing I'd like to display.
Well, that's interesting.
It's right near the boardwalk. Local artists, modern, postmodern, absurd. We have live music. I've been trying to get your paper to do a big write-up on us, but so far,
Well, I
we
don't.
display a lot of 1950s and 60s kitsch, fashion, shoes that would look great with the Nazarena Fontanelli design display. We're very diverse. And the gallery has a space that might tie into your story. You see, I have an entire space dedicated to the quality used cars brand. Fascinating design. The old ceramic sign, it's huge. It's the backdrop for the whole space. I commissioned art pieces based on cars from the 1960s. It's really fabulous.
Well, sounds great.
And like I said, it does tie in with your story on Main Street businesses. After this interview, maybe you could come to the gallery, segue into a story about it.
Well, this is really a specific type of article. I really don't think.
Here's the program. I understand, but look, we do have a lot of 60s automotive memorabilia. I mean, Main Street, 1960s cars, cruising, a little American graffiti. You will love the gallery. And honestly, I love the ink. We are really special, but not enough people know about us. The program highlights.
I could give you the contact information for advertising.
I have advertised, but what I really want is a big spread. Maybe a series of articles on art and music in Asbury, on how businesses like the gallery have really saved the shore. We're a homage to the past and an embrace to the artistic future of all these beach towns.
Sounds like you could write your own copy.
I wish it worked that way. But I've dreamt about this gallery all my
Write it
life.
and buy a page.
Too expensive. Another article then, something more, the new boardwalk.
That's something to run past my editors.
Yes, please say you'll consider it. I advertise, but I'd love a full story about who we are and how we came to be.
Your gallery's name is Rolls Royce Gallery, correct?
Yes, it's an interesting story. My father's business, Quality Used Cars, had a Rolls Royce body in the front. That was the entire that story in itself. Lawyers who can own a Rolls Royce, etc., but it was only the body. So we got to keep it. But
Your name.
yes, Royce.
Tell me, did the Rolls have an actual steering wheel and tires and seats?
Yes, funny. My father used to negotiate with buyers sitting in that car. People will pay more for a used car if they're sitting in a Rolls, even if it doesn't run.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anyway, that briefcase, it really does look like one my father owned in the 1960s.
Well,
Devin stands and touches the bag again and repositions it on the coffee table.
this bag tells a story.
Yes, it does. And my gallery tells stories. I'd love to display it, the quality used car space in the gallery.
Well, something to consider.
Oh, please do that and let me know. I don't want to disappoint you, but my father is actually napping. Since he retired, his schedule is such that he sleeps irregularly and sometimes takes naps during the day. He's been asleep for about an hour or so. I'm going to give him a little more time. I hope you don't mind.
I really would like to speak with him.
Would you like to learn more about the gallery? I have my press kit right here.
This is a specific type of story.
I actually can answer most of the questions you have about the car dealership and Main Street. My stepmother put together these scrapbooks before she died. There are photos, newspaper clippings, lots of documents. And I was there most of my life. I grew up there, so I really can answer a lot of the questions you have.
Well, maybe we can get started today, and in the future, I can come back and speak with your father a little. But just to get quotes and his unique perspective on the time period.
Devin pulls a notebook and an ornamental pen from her pocket. Royce notices the notebook and pen.
Old school.
That's a Mont Blanc?
It was a retirement gift from the other nurses. Everyone knew I wanted to write, so they got me this outrageously expensive pen.
May I see it? This is a special edition, platinum, very prestigious.
Are you a pen connoisseur?
I like pretty things, expensive things.
Well, I don't care about the price. It's just sentimental. We just hold on to some things. Can't let them go.
That's what the gallery is all about. Holding on to things, all kinds of objects from the past, but making them shiny first.
Shiny.
Anyway, getting quotes from my father, that sounds fine. What's the angle of your article? Isn't that what newspapers people say? Angle?
Well, sometimes. I guess you might say my angle is to explore the differences between Main Street businesses in the 1960s and Main Street businesses today. Kind of an evolution. How that evolution is reflected in our culture. How that culture has changed the people and the businesses on Main Street. A comprehensive.
What other businesses are you featuring?
Oh, lots of businesses.
For example?
Well, I spoke with Annalisa Parker, who owned the car wash. A lot of information to offer. Her son had been managing after she retired it, but sold it 5 years ago. He's in Maryland now. David's carpentry shop, He died last year, but I spoke with his son. Of course, the inlet lounge, that's still there, although it's been remodeled and it's completely different now. But I did speak with Julio. I'm in the process of finding the owners and managers of a lot of other businesses there. If you remember, there was a toy store, a convenience store, and a gas station called Regis. There was a metal fabricator warehouse. It's so small compared to warehouses today. The world was so different then. A lot of businesses. I just need to hunt down the former owners and employees at the time.
Sounds like a pretty comprehensive list.
I'm trying.
So let's look through these albums. My stepmother, Loretta, was meticulous.
Royce looks through the dates on the bindings of the albums.
This is one from 1962. This is the year my father opened Quality Used Cars. Here's a newspaper article about the business.
I actually have copies of the newspaper articles.
Do you have copies of the photographs?
Oh, the ones that appeared in the newspaper, yes. There aren't really any good photos of your mother in the newspaper.
She died of cancer when I was young. Even when she was alive, she didn't spend a lot of time at the car dealership. But you did. Oh, sorry.
But you did?
I really did. I loved hanging out with my father. He was a dynamite salesman.
Good with people?
Obviously. Do you have any idea how many cars he sold during his lifetime owning Quality Used Cars?
Oh, yes. And I have a pretty good idea of his demographic.
Okay. He didn't sell to the executive set. They were used cars, but he helped out a lot of working class, lower middle class people. Poor people could buy cars, people who didn't have credit. My father gave them a lot of opportunities.
Oh, he must have gained a lot of self-satisfaction doing that.
He did. He loved to help people.
And he helped himself?
I'm sorry?
I mean, it must have felt good for him.
He liked helping people.
Oh, he got a lot of pleasure from that.
He did.
And the nothing down deal? I noticed it in so many of the advertisements he brought in our paper. He stressed nothing down. Nothing.
That's right. Nothing down.
That's interesting. So no one ever made a down payment?
Well, of course, there were people who had horrible credit. Those people did have to make a down payment. My father couldn't really let people drive off the lot unless they gave him something. That is, if they had no credit.
I understand how business works.
That's when my father was successful. He assessed the buyer and treated people individually.
Oh, I know that.
I'm not sure what that means.
I mean, businesses like your father's didn't make $100,000 being charities. It clearly wasn't a charitable organization.
That's a strange thing to say.
Well, I understand how business works. Economics, the exchange of goods or services for money or compensation.
Here, now this photo was taken right before we bought the little house next door to the business. My father bought it for a song, knocked it down, and expanded the business.
Oh, what a cute little house.
It wasn't well cared for. The woman who lived there was only glad to unload it and move to a facility.
What was her name? The owner of that house.
I don't know. Why?
Background.
She didn't own a business.
Well, just background.
I don't remember her name.
No. You don't remember her name? Do you have any images of buyers? Because the research I've done so far, lots of images of your father, but none of the buyers. Nothing about the buyers.
I guess it's not news to back off. What's that expression? It's only news if a man bites a dog. It's not news when a dog bites a man. Something like that.
Oh, I get it. But it would be great to feature some of the customers who purchase cars from your dad.
I actually did have someone coming to my gallery whose brother brought a car from my father. He loved the quality used car exhibition.
Oh, the focus of the article is how Main Street has changed. Maybe an evolution, maybe a devolution.
So you'll be looking at whether businesses are better or worse than they were in the 60s or 70s.
Well, culture is so different now. People can't get away with the things they got away with then.
My father didn't rip people off, if that's what you're implying.
I'm talking about changes in culture, not theft.
Culture.
Yes.
I'm still not with you.
Well, the people who lived in this area, they shopped close by. They worked in the businesses on Main Street. They lived in this community. When they needed cars, they came to you. They got groceries at Robinson's. I want to know about those people. I want to know how the community interacted with business people, especially business people who went on to make so much money in an area burdened with poverty.
Do you want a drink? A Coke?
Thank you. No.
Maybe we'll find the kind of information you're looking for in here. This is 1974. A lot of good things happened that year. Here's a photo with the mayor. That's when my father started sponsoring a little league team and donated quite a bit of money for the construction of a new athletic complex.
Gentry Field.
Yes, it's not there anymore, but it was nice.
I remember Gentry Field. I grew up in the Melvin houses.
The project?
Oh, does that surprise you?
A little.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time at Gentry Field, but I wouldn't exactly call it an athletic complex. More like a crappy baseball diamond and two shitty dugouts.
Well, it was nice at first, but the people from a lot of kids did damage to it.
A complex, though.
Well, that's what the article calls it. Look, Gentry Field Athletic Complex.
If the mayor was so proud of it, why wasn't the photo taken at Gentry Field, huh? That's the municipal building, see.
I don't know why the photo was taken at the municipal building. Do you want to see any more of these albums? Do you have a specific list of questions you want answered? Because I could make you a list and write out answers for for that. I don't have to feel like I'm wasting your time. Wait, is this? I don't have to feel like I'm wasting your time.
Well, I'm just trying to get a feel for things.
A feel for what? Quality used cars is closed. This is it. These albums, the photos, the stories I have.
Well, I'm sure your father has stories that you don't know.
So that's it. You only want to speak to my father?
No, I'll speak to you, but I have everything I can access from the newspaper and from the Hall of Records. I am looking for personal story.
Like what?
Like, who were the people buying these cars? Whose money was moving into his pockets? Your pocket. Whose money paid for this big fancy house in what is still an economically disadvantaged area? Like,
Wait a minute.
no, you wait a minute. I'm writing this article the way I choose to write it. If you don't like my quote unquote angle, then give me a new angle. Tell me some personal stories about some of the buyers who your father helped, whose lives were changed for the better.
A lot of people who couldn't buy.
Your father never repossessed any of those cars?
Sometimes.
Well, who was getting the nothing down deal you advertised?
Quite a few people.
Well, name one.
Now I get it. You got ripped off. Your family got ripped off by our business, and now you want revenge. What a phenomenal waste of my time and yours. My father's an old man. I don't think you can shame him for ripping off your family.
Not my objective.
You want money? You want your daddy's down payment back?
It wasn't my father.
Your mother bought a lemon. Too bad.
She bought a lemon. She drove off that lot in an old 1961 Chevrolet Rambler Ambassador with a broken odometer, a cracked windshield, a worn clutch, bad tires, and a rotted out exhaust pipe.
That's the car she chose to buy.
Wait, the loan was financed by your father at 28% interest.
Her credit must have been bad.
Compounded.
So, is that what you mean by culture? High interest rates? Little regulation? You know, poor people had no rights back then. Your mom was probably lucky she was able to get a car at all.
Poor people had no rights because of businesses like yours.
Devon reads Royce's body language and decides to dangle in front of her an article about the gallery.
Is this painting from your gallery?
What?
This painting looks a little pointless. It looks like a view of the Seine by Signac.
Chignac.
Oh, I'm sorry.
His name is pronounced Chignac. Paul Chignac.
Oh, it looks like his work.
You know about art?
My minor in college.
There's a kind of resurgence of pointillism happening in the art community around here right now. We offer lessons at the gallery, and we have two fantastic instructors. Penny St. John teaches watercolor, and Hesh Andy teaches oil and acrylic. Both are focusing on techniques similar to the pointillist.
Oh, maybe I will come by after I'm finished with this story.
Yeah. I'm sorry I overreacted.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, he's my father.
It's hard when we try to place our lives into a kind of socio-political framework.
Come again?
I mean, different sides of the track. Literally, in this case, the Melvin houses were on the other side of the Conrail tracks.
I don't like to think of it that way. I mean, art is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you grow up rich or poor, you can still be an artist.
You think?
I do.
Well, artists need support from their families. Classes, canvas, paint.
Public schools help a lot.
Well, they do now. And that's part of what I mean by culture. Kids in public schools get free lunch if they need it. I didn't get it. and I needed it. Students get art classes, real art classes where they learn real techniques. I didn't get that.
I see where you're going.
Well, don't get defensive, but that's what I mean about the nothing down thing. Your father advertised it, but how many people actually got it? There were fewer protections for people in those days.
Like you said, though, that was the culture then. Fewer protections. It was common practice, expected really, that businesses operated in a certain way.
Yes, but businesses didn't operate. Businesses don't make decisions. People operate their businesses. A business isn't a person.
Wait,
People are ethical or they're not. They operate their businesses. They set the tone. Maybe everyone is unethical in those days, but that was still wrong.
I don't want to start defending my father to you again.
I'm sure you are an ethical business person. You live in this culture where people have rights. The people who clean your gallery at night have rights. The homeless people who live near the boardwalk have rights. You know that.
Yes, I do.
But your father, he didn't know that.
What do you want me to say?
But how many people got that nothing down deal from your dad?
A lot.
How many?
I don't know.
How many women?
I'm not sure.
Women.
Some women.
Yeah. My mother.
There you go.
Seriously,
What?
you don't know where I'm going with this?
Look, I don't know whether you're writing an article or not. If you came here to avenge some wrong, fine. But I didn't do anything to you or your mother.
Not you.
Not me. I own a gallery. I work very hard to keep.
You benefited from the money he made.
I was a child. You think I ran the business? Wrote ads?
Nothing down.
Some people did get it. Your mom.
But she was down.
From off stage, there is a loud bang.
Oops. Coming.
I'll be right there, Dad. If you only want to speak to him, you should leave. He's not having a very good day.
Royce exits. Devin walks around the living room looking at the art hanging on the walls. After a moment, Royce returns.
You're still here?
We were talking.
No, you were attacking. And you weren't even writing notes with your fancy pen.
You want my pen?
No, I have money. If I want a Mont Blanc, I'll buy me one.
That's true. People with money always get what they want.
You're here to talk about money?
Culture.
The culture of money?
Okay. My mother was down financially. Then she was down on her back in that broken down Rolls Royce. On her back. Your father was.
Stop right there.
No. Your father forced my mother to
Stop it.
have sex with him to get the nothing down deal.
Absolutely not.
Nothing down at 28% interest, compounded on an old piece of shit that probably had 2,000 miles on it and lasted 5 months.
That's the story you plan to write?
Well, I'm thinking about it.
I will sue you.
My mother paid for that car for 4 years.
Why didn't she bring it back?
She did. And she brought me with her because she thought your father wouldn't try anything with me there. But he did.
This would make a great revenge fantasy film.
He raped my mother
No,
because she needed a car.
you are full of shit.
Prove me wrong.
How can I? The dealership has been closed for 5 years.
Give me the sales record so I can contact.
Absolutely not.
What are you afraid of? That I might be right?
No.
Your father.
If
raped.
you came to get him, or if she came to him for a car,
He raped my mother
she came to him,
for the nothing down deal.
then she must have spread her legs
Her husband was in Vietnam.
willingly.
My father was a million miles away.
She could have said no.
She needed that car to work.
There was no gun to her head.
There was a gun in the shape of a $sign.
If you were living in the projects, why did she need a car?
She worked in the kitchen of St. Max High School.
Then she should have taken the bus.
That would have been 3 buses.
Then she should have taken 3 buses.
You know I'm right. If you thought I was lying, you wouldn't be arguing like this.
A psychic reporter.
Give me the names of some of your buys.
No.
You want me to run a classified ad asking people who bought cars from your father to contact me?
You wouldn't dare.
No.
What is your effing problem?
But I want to tell the true story of quality used cars and their incredible nothing down deal.
And what will you get?
Deliverance.
Bullshit. You want to make a name for yourself by ruining my father.
This is not about me.
I think it is.
It's about my mother.
If that's true, why isn't she here?
She's in hospice at Zimmerman Hospital. And last week, she told me a story. The story of a woman whose husband, a reservationist in the army,
Oh, please.
and he was sent to Vietnam. And this woman had a 4-year-old daughter and a job opportunity that she had hoped would move her and her daughter out of the projects.
Do you hear that violin playing?
And the woman saw an advertisement for a car dealer that would sell her a car without requiring a down payment. She didn't realize that she had to let the owner.
You need to get out. Get out now. I don't give a damn what your story you write.
Owner, fuck her.
Get the hell out.
Don't you want to hear the end?
Royce grabs Devin by the arm and starts pushing her toward the front door of the house. Devin resists.
Get out. I have a pistol in my bedroom and I will not hesitate to
What the
use
fuck
it.
going on in here?
Daddy, what are you doing? Why didn't you call me?
Where's Carmen?
Today is her day off.
Oh, that little spit gets a day off. I don't ever get a day off.
Let me take you back to your...
Stop calling me, Loretta.
Daddy, it's me, Royce, not Loretta. I'm right here, Daddy.
You're Royce?
Yes.
You look different. You're getting old.
I know.
Where the hell's Loretta?
Daddy,
Let me go. Where the hell is Loretta?
Loretta died.
Oh, shit. Go get Loretta.
Royce looks at Devin. At first, Royce seems angry. Then her expression changes to a pleading. Royce and Devon share a moment of understanding.
So, who are you?
Well, I'm from the newspaper. I wanted to talk to you about quality used cars.
You should leave now. My father is clearly not himself.
Do you want me to leave, Mr. Stevenson?
No, stay. I know you from somewhere.
You can obviously see that my father isn't who he used to be. So you're not going to get what you want from him.
How do you know what I want?
I asked if you wanted money. You said no. The only other thing you could possibly want is revenge.
Come over here and sit next to me.
Well, I have some questions to ask you.
I sold you a car, didn't I?
What do you remember about me?
You need to leave.
He clearly remembers my mother.
He doesn't know what he remembers.
What do you remember about me, Roy?
Your husband was in the army. Overseas, I think. Yeah, a soldier. So I showed you my Colt Pythons. Army wives love guns.
She hated guns. They frightened her.
Remember that? One was nickel finish, top drawer in my office, and the other one was a royal blue finish. That's the one me and Loretta played with. That little game, Loretta, remember?
Please, please, please leave.
And your hair was different.
Oh, really? How was it different?
Bigger, like a Wonder Woman.
I never thought of it that way. It was like Wonder Woman. She kept it so perfect.
Roy reaches over and touches Devon's hair.
You had long eyelashes, not like Loretta, those stick-on ones. Real, like umbrellas for your eyes.
Roy
Daddy,
touches Devon's cheek.
Shut up, Loretta!
Daddy, you don't know her.
Yes, I do. I know her very, very well.
Daddy.
Shut up, Loretta. I'm talking to a customer. I remember you, pretty lady. I sold you a car, a Rambler, I think.
Oh, yes, it was a Rambler.
Oh, yeah, a column shifter. I especially like those column shifters because...
Don't say it, Daddy.
Oh, damn it, Loretta, I'm talking to a customer. I'll give you the back of my hand.
Why do you like column shifters, Roy?
Because the driver's got to hold the wheel with her left hand and change the gear with her right. Legs are pumping away on the clutch and the gas, and I can just slip my hand right in there while...
Royce grabs her father and he slaps her.
I warn you, Loretta, never get between me and another woman.
Daddy, I'm not Loretta. I'm Royce.
Your shirt had daisies on it.
Her favorite shirt.
Oh, huge tits. I was so disappointed that you had pants on instead of a skirt.
Royce grabs her father and tries to force him to stand up.
Get off me. Go in the office, Loretta, and take a swig of Jack. Remind me about that Rambler.
It had a crack in the windshield.
Oh, that was nothing.
Oh, no, it was something. It was right in the line of vision.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a very good car, Roy. I think we deserved a better car.
You should have visited me. We could have talked about it.
Here, Daddy, take these.
I don't need no goddamn pills.
Please, Daddy.
Here, Roy, I'll give them to you.
Devon puts a pill in Roy's mouth and holds the water up for him to drink. Then she repeats the motion with a second pill.
There you go, Roy. Now both you and Loretta are happy.
I'm very happy.
Roy begins pawing Devon.
Do you want to sit in my Rolls Royce with me? Them leather seats are so smooth, it's like fucking on a mink coat.
This has got to stop.
Is this what it was like when your father was evaluating customers for his nothing down deal?
Roy tries to push Devon down onto the couch. She moves over.
I have a present for you.
Oh, I have a present for you too, Roy. But first, I want to talk about the Rambler.
You need the car? I gave you a car.
You didn't give it to us, though, Roy. You made us pay for it for years, even after it stopped running.
Well, why didn't you come back? I would have gotten you another car.
You know why I didn't come back.
Do I?
You do.
I think I remember you started crying because you liked it so much.
Daddy,
So I went harder.
That's not why any of them cried.
Remember harder? That was something.
were you still married to Mommy then?
And that rose, that was something too.
The letter.
What letter?
The letter I wrote you, Roy.
Daddy, this lady isn't who you think she is.
Roy begins to realize where he is and that 5 years has passed since he owned the car lot. He gets quiet and is visibly shaken. Long pause. Devon stands up and begins moving around the room.
The letter, Roy. Remember the letter?
I don't remember any letter.
Daddy, why don't you go back to your room and watch television?
Yeah, help me up.
I have the letter, Roy.
She's full of shit, Daddy. Ignore her.
You sent my mother's letter back, stapled to your reply.
Come on, Daddy.
It's in the briefcase. Remember the briefcase, Roy?
What do you want?
Take a guess.
I'm calling the police.
That's a good idea. Because the police are going to want to see what's in that briefcase.
What's in there?
That used to be your briefcase, Roy. Remember that?
How'd you get that?
My mother stole it from you.
What's in there?
She went to the car lot to talk to you, and the door was unlocked. She could hear you in the inner office with someone. She didn't know what to do, so she just grabbed the briefcase and left.
She's a thief.
Yes, she is.
She should be in jail.
Oh, believe me, she's been in jail, locked up in some dark, dark place.
What exactly does that mean?
You want money?
You want to see the letter, Roy? Would you like to see it? The letter from the woman who had daisies on her shirt.
Okay, I want to see it. If there is a letter, I want to see it.
God damn it, Royce, mind yourself.
Give it to me.
Devon walks toward the briefcase on the coffee table. She reaches for it and Roy grabs her hand.
Get the fuck out. Take that fucking bag with you.
It's your bag, Roy.
I don't want it. You take that.
I want to see this letter, Daddy.
No,
What's in the letter, Daddy?
nothing that matters.
I bet that's really how you feel, too. What happened to my mother didn't matter. Not to you or your gallery-owning daughter.
Nothing happened to her, thieving bitch, money hungry.
Devin reaches into the bag and pulls out two old pieces of paper. One is written on yellow legal paper. There is another short white piece of paper stapled to the back. She hands the sheets of paper to Royce. Royce reads.
Ross, this baby is due in March. My husband returns from deployment in April. You have to do something to help me, please. Ann Lee.
Now read his answer.
Biggest crock of shit ever. Help me up.
You can't prove I'm the father. I can get 10 men to swear they've been screwing you on a regular basis. You're worried about your soldier boy will feel when he finds that baby. How will he feel when he finds out that you're the town hall? Never contact me again. You wrote this letter?
I don't remember.
You always called women the town hall. That's vintage, Daddy.
That's a man said town hall because there were a lot of town halls back then.
It's your writing.
Anybody could have written that.
I know you screwed around a lot, but a baby?
You said yourself. She's full of shit.
Your brother, Royce.
There was no baby. She was trying to extort me. I saw her walking on me. She wasn't pregnant.
That's rich. You sold her a car. Why was she walking then, Roy?
There was no baby.
Daddy, I knew things were...
Don't get all innocent with me.
Oh, Dad.
You're just like your fucking mother. Go take a handful of those things that you hide in the coffee can. You, get out.
When I leave here, I'm going to go see my mother. She's in hospice at Zimmerman. Should I say to send her your love?
Good riddance. Too bad. Garbage.
Roy uses his walker to finally pull himself to his feet. He starts moving toward the hallway to his room. Roy suddenly stands wide-eyed and looks at Devin.
You cannot write this story.
Isn't this Main Street culture? Late 20th century.
No. This is a story of a broken family.
Seems to me Roy broke a lot of families.
Maybe so, but I don't deserve to have this story published. I didn't hurt your mother.
No, you didn't.
I watched my mother suffer too. Cancer. I know it's not the same thing, but we both watched our mothers go through awful things.
You're right. Your mother suffered a terrible fate, Royce. You said your mother died of cancer? You never told her the truth, Roy?
Water under the bridge.
What?
Nothing.
Daddy?
I worked for the newspaper, remember?
It was never in the paper.
The obit. Did you ever read your mom's obit, Royce?
Cancer.
No.
Roy moves toward the hall that takes him towards his bedroom. He doesn't look back, but stops before he leaves the room. Devin goes to the briefcase and pulls out a piece of white paper with a small photocopied obit on it. Devin hands the paper to Royce. Royce reads.
It is with great sadness that the family of Rachel Stevenson announces her passing. Mrs. Stevenson died unexpectedly at home on the 21st. She is survived by her husband, Roy, owner of the Quality Used Cars, and their daughter, Royce. Mrs. Stevenson will be waked at Perpetual Peace Funeral Home on Wednesday and will be buried at Green Meadows Cemetery Thursday morning at 10 a.m. What does this mean?
When someone dies of cancer, the obit usually doesn't say died unexpectedly.
It proves nothing.
I don't think this means anything.
Annalisa Parker, the car wash, your father used to use them. Mrs. Parker told me that your mother overdosed.
Daddy? That's not true. She had cancer.
You remember that?
She was sick.
Not with cancer. She was addicted to sedatives.
She took pain meds for her cancer.
She didn't have cancer.
It's a crock of shit.
Is it? Really, Roy? Mrs. Parker told me that everybody, including your wife, Rachel, knew that you were screwing your assistant, Loretta. The same Loretta who quickly became wife number 2.
You can't fuck with me. Look at me. You know who I am? Even without functional legs, I could crush you like a bug.
I want you to accept responsibility for what you did. The lives that you ruined, the people you shit on. You need to own this.
You're off your fucking rocker.
No, Roy. And you, Royce, you know I'm right. I can see it in your face.
No,
We know things, you and me. And we don't even know what we know sometimes.
that makes no sense.
About a year before I left nursing, I'm walking into work at the hospital. Still in the parking lot, when a beat up old car pulled in front of me, this woman jumps out and yells at me, "Por favor, ayuda, mi bebé no respira." I don't
Who cares?
speak much Spanish, but I knew her baby was not breathing. So I opened the door.
No one fucking cares.
I checked his airway. I flipped the baby over and patted his back. And there was a penny stuck in his airway. It came out, but he still wasn't breathing. So I did compressions and mouth breathing, and then
Oh, should we be applauding now?
boom, deja vu. And I remembered
Remembered what?
my mother trying to get your brother to breathe.
What?
My mother gave birth to your son, Roy, on the bathroom floor in an apartment at the Melvin houses. Your son.
Oh, damn it.
Roy falls against the wall. Royce jumps to help Roy. She gets him back to the couch.
Sit down, Daddy.
And he wasn't breathing. So we did everything we could. We tried to get him to breathe. My mother rubbing his tiny chest, all bloody and slimy. She's still bleeding between her legs, mouth breathing for him. Sobbing. It was like a nightmare. And I remembered all of it, that whole night, during those moments when I was breathing for that little boy in the parking lot. I remembered my mother pushing out the baby on that shitty tile of the bathroom floor, and the blood and the fluid like marsh water. And this dead infant, the baby quiet, not breathing, just still and silent. The whole room became a morgue. My mother kept breathing into him and trying to wake him up. I had forgotten all of it. I think my mother told me it was a nightmare.
Give me oxygen.
And you remember, Royce. I bet you remember everything too. Everything will come back to you if you just give it a chance. Your mother overdosing, your father and his nothing down deals, shoving women onto the back seat of the Rolls. You probably remember all of it just like I did.
Oxygen!
Royce exits into the other room to get the oxygen.
Your mother was a whore.
You're gonna burn in hell.
Royce comes back with a small oxygen machine and a nasal cannula. She sets it up on her father. Roy breathes heavily. Long pause.
Did he stop breathing?
The little boy in the parking lot made it. Your brother did not. He never took a breath.
Oh no. He didn't make it.
No.
Oh, damn it, Royce. If you hadn't taken my fucking guns away from me, I could shut up this little bitch right now.
Daddy, that baby was your child.
What the fuck do you want? Money? All you bitches want is money.
Admit you fathered my mother's baby.
No.
Just admit it, you son of a bitch.
Why?
Because I want to hear you say it. You ruined my mom's life. She never got over.
Roy begins throwing things at Devin.
Extortion. All you sluts want is money. This should be worth something. Here, take this. Take it to your fucking pawn shop.
Stop it.
Royce tries to get him to stop throwing things. Some object hits Devin in the head.
What's wrong with you? Put that down. What the hell are you doing?
Roy pulls himself up, grabs the walker, and tosses it violently.
That goddamn walk. I can't defend myself.
Sit down, Daddy.
All right, Loretta. Give her a check.
Ross.
I mean it, Royce. Write her a check.
Don't want money.
Are you hurt?
I'm all right. I want you to take responsibility for your son.
Get me back to bed, Loretta.
A person, a human being. I want you to treat him like a person.
Where is he buried? I want to take flowers.
No, he ain't my son. And I can't understand.
Be quiet, Daddy.
Good God, Royce, you never understand nothing. Nothing. Just like your addict mother.
Shut up, Daddy. This is my brother. I have a brother.
You never understood a goddamn thing.
I understand more than you know.
I knew it. You felt this ruin all around you. You've known your father left a trail of devastation in his wake. You know.
I don't know what I know.
You probably remember my mother. The shirt with daisies on it.
I don't know.
Maybe there were other babies too. Other brothers and sisters.
Oh, Dad. Daddy, please tell me. Tell me that little boy is the only one. I once thought you were a decent man.
Decent. Good God. Decent. Times were different. You got what you could get. People were hard, ugly. Everyone hating on the flag, woman marching, civil fucking rights. No one thought about ethics. Fucking gritty. The world, dirty. Every house had a broken window and no one gave a shit. You think I haven't thought about this? About all this? That baby, your mother? So uncertain about me. About the car. What a husband would think about the Rambler. Coming home from the war. To some bastard baby. Fucking projects. A serviceman, no less. Fighting for his country while his wife bent over the desk at a used card lot. Imagine being that man. I thought about him. That bothered me. Army. I saw the news about Vietnam. I thought about him. About me. All those poor goddamn customers. Needing. People with their worried eyes and rubbing their hands together, afraid they can't afford the payments. The kids running around empty lot behind the businesses, playing in the weeds and on broken chunks of concrete. You think I haven't thought about all this? I wish I could go back in time. But I might do the same thing, goddamn thing again. Those were the times. Women equal to men. I give them equal as hard as I could. Look at the bitches. And you know, all this was not my fault. Not completely. You should own up to your part of this, Royce.
Me? I was a child.
What you did to your mother.
Me?
You ripped that womb right out of her when you came out. That's why she's popping pills and drinking. The pain. That stuff from her insides, the chemicals.
What's wrong with you, Roy? You're gonna blame?
This is none.
You blame me?
You're drawn up. You were happy until you.
You're a worse monster than I thought.
Your mother wouldn't let me touch her after you and those 2 surgeries. And Loretta, low-hanging fruit. They all were. Me coming home to a passed-out wife, and you, Royce, covered in your own shit. Loretta was your mother long before Rachel decided to end it. I only married Loretta so you could have a mother. You should be thanking me.
Royce loves you, and you say...
Shut the fuck up. And Royce, this gallery thing. Me and Loretta figured out this gallery thing a long time ago.
What does that mean?
You know what it means. You know exactly what it means. Take me back to my room.
Say what you mean, Daddy.
Get my walk and help me back to my room.
No.
Royce moves the walker even further away from Roy.
A challenge.
Explain gallery thing.
Look at yourself. Take a look. Do you see a gallery owner? No.
Yes, I do. I am a gallery owner.
You're the daughter of a pill-popping drunk who OD'd on purpose to get away from you.
To get away from you, Roy. From you, not Royce.
I was there. And that fucking Suzanne Davidson gallery. I paid for that school trip. For those buses. You came home like suddenly you were fucking Kennedy. Too good to sweep out the office anymore. You kept telling Loretta, Suzanne is so classy. She's a real lady. How do you think that hit her? How do you think that
I
hit her?
was tired of cleaning that shitty little office when you had the money to pay someone.
That was your job.
Condoms, Dad. Your fucking used condoms. That's what I kept finding.
fucking job after everything I gave you.
Twice I caught you banging customers in there.
For the nothing down deal, I bet.
But I didn't care.
Really? She was drunk every night.
Maybe that's on you. All of a sudden, you were too fucking good for Loretta. You didn't want her going to your art night. You didn't want her going to your art nights at school or the chorus recitals. You didn't want people to know she was your mother. Wouldn't let her take you on college trips. You wanted that Suzanne Davidson, that gallery owner, to be your mother.
Don't you let him put this on you. You survived the cesspool that he dug into Main Street, USA. Don't you let him do that.
Oh, that Gary, fucking waste of money. My money. Be careful, Royce. Someone might find out where you really came from.
My whole south wall is quality used cars for you, Daddy. A tribute to you.
I don't think so. That ceramic sign. That ain't my real sign. My sign got broke with rocks when we shut down. All that shiny shit and commissioned art, that's not about me. That's about you. Polishing up your childhood with big high gloss paint and glaze. I'm a fucking Windsor now. Big band and the Tower Bridge and all that. Look at me, Ross. This is what you are. You can go to that gallery in your $400 shoes and your dresses from New York City. This is who you are. Don't act surprised that you got a brother or a sister out there floating around. Don't fake shock that your brother was born on the floor in these projects.
I'm here, Daddy. I'm here every effing day taking care of you. I'll give you your meds and wipe your ass if you need it. I'll get you in and out of the tub. I'll hire nurses and then you hire different nurses after you insult them and grab their boobs. I'll spend every day doing at least one thing for you that no one else wants to do. If you want to act like I'm not a piece of shit, you should let me. You should applaud me. I'm better than you. I'm better than Loretta with her box blue black hair color and 50 at 50, her missing teeth, which you had the money to get fixed, but you didn't. You cheap bastard. I'm not like you.
You telling yourself that?
You're a fucking rambler, and I'm a Rolls Royce.
Right, Royce wipes a tear off her face, and then she begins laughing too. Then Royce sits down and hides her face in her hands.
If I was your daughter, I would have smothered you with a pin a long time ago.
I bet your daddy beat your mama when he came home and found out that baby.
My father never came home. He died over there.
Just as well.
I have to get out of here.
Fine, but you get Carmen over here before you go.
Carmen is not coming in on her day off.
Just go then and take your friend in a stolen briefcase with you.
Oh, come on, Roy. Don't you want to know what's inside the briefcase? I mean,
More letters?
yes, and something else.
What?
Come on, Roy.
I don't care.
The briefcase is yours, and what's in it is yours too.
Just get out.
You say it's not yours, but we both know it is yours. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. Take a guess, Roy.
Roy stares at Devin without speaking.
You already know, don't you? You know.
Know what?
I can see it in your eyes.
Take that thing and get out.
I don't think so. It's your turn. You take over this job.
For what? What's in there?
Look at his face. Ask him. Ask Daddy.
Dad?
No. You look at her. Look at my daughter. If you pull that thing out and show it to her, she'll jump off the fucking bridge.
Not her fault. You should jump off a bridge. I'll drive you to the George right now. But you have to promise me you'll actually jump.
She's been lying to herself for years. You publish some newspaper story, quality used baby story, she won't survive.
She's made it this far, and she's a Rolls Royce. She'll survive.
Is that baby in there?
My mother couldn't let him go. I've had him with me my whole life, and I didn't even know it. There was this big basket, a little smaller than a bassinet, straw, and my mother kept some of my father's clothes in it and some of my baby things, private things, she said. When we moved, it came with us, unopened. At least I never opened it.
Oh,
Not exactly. More like a mummy. Your mummified brother. Your mummy's son, Roy.
That ain't my kid.
When my mother moved into assisted living, I brought that basket home with me. I didn't know my brother was in a stolen briefcase in there. He's been in my basement next to boxes of Christmas ornaments, a Tupperware container of my father's medals, and an American flag. My mother's whole life in a cracked Tupperware container and an imperfectly constructed straw basket.
your poor mother.
And Roy has an entire wall in a gallery.
I understand now why you're here.
Really?
What do you want me to do?
I told you what I want.
I think you want justice.
Justice? You're all crazy.
Like, you want things to be fair, to have been fair in the past. You want to do something to try to make things.
It wasn't fair. My mother, not fair. She was a good woman, widowed. My father dead somewhere in East Saigon. I wouldn't even remember his face except for his pictures. She never saw him again. Not even his body came back. Never stopped loving him or feeling guilty about what Rod did to her. Now she's in hospice. They can't give her enough narcotics to control the pain because that would kill her. She wants to die, and they won't let her. She doesn't even have that power to choose to die. At least your mother got to choose the when and the where of death.
Retta, Get another headache.
We can't go back in time.
Maybe what I want is revenge.
You don't want revenge. You would have maybe killed my father, stabbed him in the throat with that fancy pan.
I don't know if justice is what I want. Maybe obliteration. Maybe the end of this world.
The end of this world.
Loretta, my pills.
I'll close my eyes and you can kill my father.
You're funny.
No, really. That way I can honestly say I didn't see anything.
You are not what I imagined.
I'm just tired. It's exhausting to maintain a secret identity, curator by day, zookeeper by night.
Survivor.
You too.
Roy tries to stand up.
Loretta, take me to my room. I want to lay down.
Royce grabs the walker and gives it to Roy. Then she helps him out of the room to his bedroom. Royce is gone for a moment. While she's gone, Devon places her hand on top of the briefcase. Royce returns.
May I hold him? Just the briefcase. I won't hurt him.
Here.
Devon picks up and hands the briefcase to Royce. She sits and cradles it like a child.
I'm so sorry.
Will you take him?
Yes, I'll take him. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns bright, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass.
You know,
Can you write the story without us?
I don't think I'll include much about quality used cars in my story.
Hardly.
I can mention the car lot and seg into the gallery. Ross Stevenson parlays family business into an art empire.
Hardly.
I won't break you.
I'm already broken.
I don't think so.
Did your mother have a name for him?
No, not that I know of.
Loretta!
I always thought that if I had a daughter, I'd name her Quality.
Quality.
There were the days when I thought my dad was somebody. I'm going to name this little boy Quality. Quality Stevenson. Quality, well-loved Stevenson.
That's a beautiful name. Quality.
Ross?
Are you going to help him?
Justice or revenge?
You tell me.
No, I'm not going to help him. You'll probably be okay.
Royce,
Quality.
You are so not what I imagined.
End of play.